They'll be calling you a radical. This is the perfect place for this video. See the dust? That's not fire. You could taste it on your palate. I stay in the same routine. I hike every day. I'm having coffee this morning. You know, I eat the exact same thing every day. Do go on the exact same hike post-cancer. And so my palate, I'm like, oh my God, it's coffee day. It's everybody. I mean, so let's get to this. This is a nightmare. The greatest ecological catastrophe. And like I said, the thumbprint is the Columbia salmon. They are in epic collapse. I've always said for years, this is the best place to watch a football game on this side. Everybody sits on this side because the sun sets right there over the Great Salt Lake. So let's get to these numbers. By the way, isn't it perfect? Peterson Fabricators, who I live right out by, that's whose container blew up inside WIP. Isn't that perfect? Here at the University of Nuclear, the greatest lie in human history. They just tore down that south end. I got videos they were tearing it down historic. I always get the historic. That's where the Radnet dishes were they tore down. But let's get to these horrific. This is the greatest ecological catastrophe in human history. This is the smoking gun. Let's see if I can get to this. I'm a one-man band here. Stay with me. Go team. Here we go. No. There it is. Okay, what is this? What is this? What is this? Okay. Like clockwork, you can set your sundial by it. That's the Columbia River Chinook salmon numbers. Now, why is this such a big deal? Because we don't count dead tide pools. Nobody does. Noah will tell you, we don't collect data on Fukushima. We don't collect radiation data. Yet they're called the National Oceanography. You know, we don't monitor the ocean. You know, the greatest ecological catastrophe in human history, which is acute. Now, I want to address this fallacy. The fallacy that somehow this has been going on for decades. This is the very fallacy. Right here. So here's the fallacy. This is not. This is acute. This is acute. Post 2011. You can't argue with me. This is unequivocal. Look, I'm basically what an old research Ph.D. That's what I am. But I can't get funding. I mean, who's going to fund me? The people who built the nuclear reactors of Fukushima, Japan, and San Onofre, the people that are killing the planet, Peterson Fabricate, the profiteers, the nuclear waste profiteers, they're going to fund me? No. I mean, the PhDs here, the PhDs around the country are false. They're fake. It's the fallacy. They're not PhDs. They're funded to not report. I mean, look at this. Look at it. I mean, look at it. This is September in Utah. These skies are usually crystal blue. It's a catastrophe. So let's get to this. So, hear me out. Escapement. What's escapement? That's how many salmon. Salmon live in the Pacific Ocean. Their homes. They're born in the rivers of Oregon, Washington, British Columbia, Alaska, California. They die there. Chinook salmon go to sea for 5 years. I've said this the whole time. It took me a year and a half to convince anybody this was even one meltdown. Now stay with me. This is real important stuff. This is historical. This is the greatest PhD in human history. Sadly, I was right the whole time, because I predicted this all from day one. It took me a year and a half to convince anybody it was even one meltdown of Fukushima. So stay with me. 2015, the Columbia River, which is the big, massive monster. Army Corps engineers, we count every single salmon with sonar. Of course, the live cam's been out for 6-7 years now. Army Corps engineers have sent me in. I mean, I got a whistleblower inside there now that's coming to me and say, you were classified. I also have that at San Onofre. My emails between Jerry Brown, freaking classified, which is pretty amazing. A guy full of cancer, a grassroots freaking PhD, freelance freaking activists, you know, fighting to save you from you. So, based on escapement, we were expecting in the Columbia River in 2015. Now remember, these are salmon that went to sea in 2010. We're expecting 1.5 million. NOAA, ODFW, WDFU's modeling is very sophisticated. It plugs in everything. Came in right on cue, right at the exact same number. 2011's forecast, ODFW, WFW, NOAA, they have boys. I mean, they're very accurate at what they do. Everything's plugged in. I'm like, you're not plugging in Fukushima. No. I'm already starting to see the tide pools are collapsing. I got leukemia. We're starting to see the cancer epidemic. They're writing on the fucking walls. Kevin Blanch fucking hypothesized when it happened. happen. These are fucking nuclear reactors. It's never happened before. Never. Never. Not at Chernobyl. Not, no. These are full blown out MOX fuel, fucking blown to smithereen, fucking cover up fucking Hiroshima, Nagasaki on fucking chemo. They don't even know what it is, which I hypothesize FUKTONIUM. It's going to push into the Pacific Ocean. It's going to create a fucking gas, a FUKTONIUM. It's going to, you don't even know what it is. It's going to break the chain. It's going to break the luminescence. It's going to fucking break the chain. And it's going to fucking kill the fucking ecology. It's going to fucking genocide the Pacific Ocean. It's going to genocide the fucking Earth. They're all connected. It's the ecology, stupid. So 2016's numbers were projected at 1.7 million by OFW, WFW, fucking NOAA, everybody. I'm like, no, my number I put at 680,000. I mean, I'm using regression. I'm running. I'm doing what I do, freelance on my own, here at the University of General Electric, because that's where I live. I travel all over the world. But remember, I had AML leukemia, given 2 months to live right in the hospital. So I walk up here, do my work to the hospital, freaking, you know, and my treatment. I mean, I was given 2 months to live. It's going to give you leukemia. It's going to give you leukemia. I got AML, de novo, multiple myeloma, which the golf course got it right here and passed away. One of the players right here got it in his brain and passed away. Major epidemic all over here. My own doctor inside the LDSC State Bone Marrow Transplant, Fimbo Peterson, the great Danish doctor. You know, I come from a family of doctors here. Kevin, we know the outbreak harder, stronger, faster, more aggressive. All the doctors. By the way, HIPAA laws won't allow them to talk. Vincent Hansen, the great oncologist right here, I've known since I was a child, to save my life. I mean, he grew up in southern Utah. His father and brother both died. He knows. I mean, they all know. They love me and respect the hell out of me. That's why my life was saved and spared, because they put a lot in work to, I mean, they overrode all this mixed diagnosis. So back to the salmon counts. So 2017, they're projecting 1 point. Oh, you're crazy. We've been out there. No, they go to sea for 5 years. Listen to me. These are the Chinook. These are the hallowed king beasts. First came the god of salmon. Then so there's a reason those are the native freaking stories right here. So, boop, they come in at 683,000. I'm right. Oh, good one. I'm like, what do you say now? Ha ha, it was an aberration. You got lucky. Okay, oh look. All right. 2017 projections of 2.1, between 2.1 and 2.3 million were the projections. ODFW, based on escapement, is, they call it the pasture. That really pisses me off, how they call it the mighty blue Pacific Ocean, the greatest mother of all living life that is in free. This is the greatest story in human history. The Pacific Ocean freaking going dead, fucking collapsing in epic ways. The greatest story in human history. The Great Salt Lake, awake for the Great Salt Lake. I'm like, no. I set my projections at 480,000. My regression, I did everything, and I'm like, ha! They're like, oh my God, we can't believe it. You know, 400, we're mystified, we're baffled, we're stumped, we're puzzled, the fucking trend's fucking disturbing, fucking it's odd, we're perplexed. I'm not. How did Kevin Blanch get it right every fucking time? Because I'm not in Fukushima denial. I'm not in climate change denial. Boiling the Earth's water over and over, nuclear fucking, well, oh yeah, that's going to not fucking genocide the fucking ocean. But this acute fucking, the fallacy that this has been going on for years, the fallacy that tide pools are dying, is just that, a lie, fallacy. Tide pools, there are hundreds of videos, thousands of videos all over in 2010, very healthy tide pools. Fucking year over year, that's Cal Davis's fucking work and me together. Egghead leaked that out because of me. I mean, a lot of whistleblowers, especially in the early days, worked with me, and we fucking leaked stuff out because they're in their golden handcuffs here. They're not going to rock the fucking boat, baby. They're not PhDs. They're paid fucking whores to not report the reality. Just like here. You hear anybody talking about the fucking Great Salt Lake going fucking dry and the air quality here? You hear anybody? Fuck, what's the new fucking food in Utah? Green jello? Fucking funeral potatoes? Fucking something rotten in the New Denmark? No, it's fucking dirt sandwiches. We don't even know what it is. Fuktonium skies, Fuktonium skies. It's all fucking bunch of fucking lies. The greatest PhD in human history. My place. My place. My place. This is my place. I'm 7th generation. Go to the cemetery. Look at the last name. Ha! Buried in the Whitey. Look at it. Oh, it's Blanch. Everybody here knows. You know, Thomas saved everybody. Historic fucking, a long fucking history of my father, the Special Forces Marine. I mean, these guys that served, Kurt Blanch, on the fucking fighter plane. You know, McCain was on, he was in the air. I mean, a long history of really stoic people I come from. Amazing fucking people. My place. You know, we were taught as children, I was, oh, I mean, my other side of the family did not believe in inherited wealth. The Hunsaker line, billionaires by that, they didn't want it. We inherited nothing. We were taught to give to the community. We were taught to fight back. If you saw wrong, you fucking went out and fucking right, period. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You just fucking use whatever means you had, and that's what you did. That was the people that came before me. So I run regression, and they're like, oh my God. So as a stats professor, here we go. So let's go back. 2015, record returns, 1.4 million on the Columbia River. They're bragging, doing videos of 2015 projected numbers. Now remember to go to sea for 5 years. First batch back from Fukushima that was into the ocean, the escapement. Projections, 1.7 million. Came in at 680,000. Ken Blanch right on the money. Projections, 2017. Let's start again. 2015, 1.4 million return, right on the number. Oh, it is WW. They went to sea in 2010. 2011, the escapement came home in 2016. 2016 projections, 1.7 million. Everybody's projections, except mine. My projections is 680,000. They come in at 685,000. Projections 2017, ODFW, fucking NOAA projections of 2.1 million in 2017. Kevin Blanch, I set my projections at 480,000. They came in at 483,000. Whoa. So obviously something happened. So we run that. That's called regression. As a stats phrase, you run regression. They're called deviations from the mean. It deviates from the mean. So it just blows your computer sky high. You can run millions of regressions and it just blows it to hell. Smoke starts coming out of it. Fucking Fuktonium skies. That's called an outliner. Something obviously radically happened in 2011. It's unarguable proof. Something radical happened. Did a meteor hit? That's a tough one to figure out. Fukushima blew. They went into cover mode and they pushed into the Pacific Ocean. Fucking never happened before. Multiple fucking MOX fuel fucking experimental fake thing. And Barack Obama inside the Situation Room. Fucking, I have the transcript. I read it online. I took so much risk. Uranium one fucking Google. You're just fucking off in shiny ball. You're hypnotized by fucking alternative media fucking. It's just a fucking branded fucking dogma. PhDs see through the fucking smoke. We don't fucking get into the political theater or whatever. I mean, we fight back. I was dead on. So 2018, aberration again. Aberration again. I'm like, okay, 2 years in a row. So this is why this is so dramatic. 2018, projections of 2.7 million based on escapement. Oh no, it's going to be great, blah, blah. I'm like, fuck you. I put my projections at 330,000. Their projections were 2.7 million. It's going to be real close. I'm probably going to be a little high because this number, now remember, this is peak week. Peak week like clockwork. You can set your sundial by when these salmon, how do salmon return? How do they, oh, magnetism in there. No, the sun. The sun doesn't change where it rises and sets on a calendar year. The sun. That's how they run. You're not changing that. You saw those numbers. It's a catastrophe. I mean, it's emergency close. For them to emergency close because it's retail. Everything's fucking retail. Go fucking team. You know. All we hear is Radio Goo-Goo. Radio Gaga. So, big deal. Really a big deal. So, this is the biggest story maybe in human history. Well, no doubt in human history. The collapse of the Pacific Ocean. We don't count dead tide pools. Okay. Now think about it. I walked the entire coast of California, sent home to die. I was sent home with hospice. I was in the bone marrow transplant. I had the central line. I have multiple myeloma, OS de novo, death sentence. First person they know of on earth to survive this, documented willingly without a bone marrow transplant. Now Brian Morris, a guy here, did it. Sent him home to die and he didn't die. He and I have worked together so much and they did so much for me. But I chemoed the shit out of me 3 times with an experimental chemo. I hike every day from the hospital. I juice every fucking day. But this dirt, I mean, God, I can taste it right now. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's denial. What are we doing to our children? I mean, you don't care. Everybody's caught up in political fucking quagmire. I mean, you're branded. It's Obamacare versus Trumpets, which is the same grotesque fucking nuclearism team. So, it's in collapse. So, it's unarguable data. This is empirical, fucking unarguable. And everybody's been coming to me now, well, Kevin, I guess it's just coincidence. Coincidence don't get it in the scientific fucking community. Coincidence don't get it in the real PhD fucking, you know, freelance PhD with no funding. You think about it, because why? Here, this is Wattis. This is Utah. This is the people that built the new. I mean, the funding, I know her. I know the heiress. You know the billionaire fucking war profiteers from hell here? I talk with Matt Godfrey, fucking talk about a criminal. I mean, full of criminals, something rotten in the new Denmark. So instead of funeral potatoes from Denmark, you know, that's a Denmark dish. Half the bloodlines here are Danish, you know, as the Prussians have pummeled again. We're changing the new dish from green jello and funeral potatoes to fucking dry lake FUKTONIUM fucking dirt hamburgers. You don't even need to bring bread. Fucking free. They're free. Just open your mouth, stick out. You like that tongue? You like those scars? I was not born. My father, Special Forces, everybody knew he was so beautiful. What a wit, what a mind, what an incredible man. The Special Forces Marine who was nuked to death in the Nevada test site. He'd say to me, boy, shut the fuck up and get to work. You're way too pretty to have an opinion. I wasn't born with these scars across my fucking face. My whole Roman nose, fucking all of it. What a gem. I was raised by these incredible fucking Ogdenites. Natives. Oh boy. Now look at us. Fucking go along with the winning, what you think to be the winning team, which is the losing team. They refuse to yield the fucking field. Let the freshmen on the fucking field. What have you fucking done to our place? Look at this. It's a disgrace. Stand tuned.